Hello. It's 5 p.m. in New York, it's 10 p.m. in London, it's 2:30 a.m. in Colombo. Well, joining me now is Bundeep Singh Rangar, who runs his own corporate advisory firm. I say it was the first time it's happened. It's the first time I think it's happened on the upward surge. It's happened on the downward, hasn't it? But the first time the circuit breakers have come in, I think, to stop the market trading.
The first time this year, for sure.
Yes,
yeah.
a huge gain. Why is everyone so excited this time? Is it because it's the decisiveness of this election, isn't it?
The fact that they're just 10 seats short of an absolute majority that they need to control the House means that no other party has any kind of really swaying power of a decision. So the policies of reform would likely get accelerated without any impediments in that and the speed of decision making.
Okay, so where are we going to see this reform? What sort of areas do you think?
Well, I think clearly the attraction of foreign investors into India, the openness of the economy, the public-private partnerships needed for infrastructure development, and the continued plans to get India's rural economy on a higher footing, because that's still ultimately 70% of India's GDP. So I think it's a combination of getting more rural growth, which is 70% GDP, plus more attractive policies to get foreign investors in.
But it's the idea of having this equality of growth, which he's talked about very much in the election. Singh was talking about very much in his election campaign. How can you do that? Because surely if you bringing on a rural economy is much slower, isn't it? You can't do it as quickly as you can in the town. It's very easy to bring on the cities in terms of growth, but to bring it all up together has to be done quite slowly, doesn't it?
It has to be, and that's where I think government policy has a greater effect, because even for the elections, they're saying the fact that they waived loans for farmers and had this national rural employment scheme which gave people below the poverty line at least 100 days of employment per year was a major benefit to the Congress Party to win this election. So there's an economic, political harmony there. So the more you do for the economy in the rural heartland, the better it is for you politically. So it kind of serves its own purpose, if you may. But in addition to that, I think there's increasing wealth creation in the major cities. You've got India's stock market still relatively cheap. If you look at compared to China, it's just about half of the PE ratio. Sure, it's twice as much as it was last November when it was 7.7. It's about 16 today. The room for growth is there still. And India's consumers are still a very high saving economy. 70% of our savings don't go into the stock market yet. So
very briefly, where are the major opportunities, do you think, for foreign investors?
Infrastructure, top, telecoms, banking, which is about to get deregulated in India for sure. And to some degree, I would say the Indian domestic economy for FMCG, luxury goods, manufacturing, 70% of India's economy is still domestic oriented. So that's the catalyst for growth. It's not the IT sector, which gets a lot of limelight, but it's really in this domestic consumption.
Okay. Bundeep Singh Rangar, thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you.
In the next half hour on World News.